Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We begin with the recitation of a few verses from the Holy Quran. I request Qari Muhammad Azam Sahab to kindly do the honors.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khairan, Qari Sahab. Honorable Vice Chancellor AMU, Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, presiding over this book release function. Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Aligarh Muslim University, Professor Rakesh Bhargava. Principal and Chief Medical Superintendent, JN Medical College, Professor Shahid Ali Siddiqui Sahab. Director, Publication Division, Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi. Deputy Director, Publication Division, AMU, Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi. Professor Dr. Dr. Muhammad Shahid Sahab, I'm sorry, Dr. Muhammad Shahid Sahab. Honorable speakers who have assembled here to speak on this book, Professor A.R. Qidwai, Professor Zehra Mohsin, Professor Athar Ansari, and very soon, shortly, we will also be joined by another distinguished speaker, Dr. Hamida Tariq. Dignitaries of the dais, this gathering almost looks like a gathering of dignitaries of the AMU. We have all gathered here together to witness the book release function of a very special book of historic value penned by Dr. Shariq Aqil. Dr. Shariq Aqil, who's not short of any introduction in the Aligarh Muslim University and its worldwide fraternity. The book titled All About the JNMC A.M.U. Aligarh, A Dream That Came True. We are very grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor for his time in gracing this occasion, and very soon we will be witnessing the release of this book here as part of the centenary celebrations of the Aligarh Muslim University, the mark 2020 that we touched a couple of years ago, despite the very tough and very difficult COVID-19 situation which we have been handling in the university. This mark that we touched in 2020 saw a slew of programs, academic, educational, and also a long line of publications that saw the day of light only because of the honest efforts of the publication division, AMU. We have been seeing in the news lately that this division is doing its best to take its very precious books to the entire academic community of the university, and today it has also taken the very important step of making it available online. As part of these efforts of the AMU in its centenary year, this book today is also going to be released. I will request Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi, Director, Publication Division, AMU, and Director, Sir Said Academy, to deliver a welcome address to this gathering on this occasion.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It is a great pleasure for me to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who is the patron of the Publication Division, Sir Said Academy, and all the principal and the Dean Medical College, and the distinguished speakers and very eminent teachers of this university. In the last 2 years, I have witnessed a memorable, though in spite of the pandemic, we have witnessed some of the memorable events during the centenary years, which culminated with the address of the Prime Minister. We also organized from Sir Said Academy a seminar, which was very successful seminar on the achievements of the different faculties and different departments of this university during the last 100 years. There was a paper on the 100 years glorious history of medical college also by Professor Tabassum Shahab. But we are very, very happy that Dr. Shariq Aqil has compiled this history of medical college, which is the first, I think, the first history of our medical college. Our medical college is we are proud of our medical college. It is a mercy of God for the whole region, especially for the middle class and for the poor. And it has produced some of the very great personalities. And this is really a matter of great pleasure that here we will be releasing the 100 years, the history of the medical college. And today, it is also a pleasure for us that the Vice Chancellor will actually, this is the first day that the publication division's publications have been uploaded on the Amazon.com. So this is also the inauguration of that memorable event. I welcome again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi. We wish the publication division the very best in meeting its mandate. And it's very rightly put by Professor Naqvi that this Jain Medical College of the Aligarh Muslim University is actually like a mercy of God on the people in the entire region. In the last 60 years of its establishment, the history of this college had not been recorded. And it's a great compliment to the legacy of each one who has passed out from this college that today its history is being released. And Dr. Shariq Aqil must be congratulated on this great effort. We have with us today Professor Abdul Rahim Qidwai, the former director of the UGC HRD Center and the present honorary director of the K.A. Nizami Center for Quran Studies, to speak about the book. And he will do so because he has also written a foreword, a very well-worded foreword to this book. I request Professor Qidwai for his words.
Thank you very much, Dr. Faiza Siddiqui. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mohtaram al-Muqam, Professor Tariq Mansoor Saab, Vice Chancellor, Aligarh Muslim University, the dignitaries on the dais, my worthy colleagues sitting in the audience, and dear students, let me at the outset compliment the publication division. I've been associated with this university for a very long time, and it is so gratifying, befitting the centenary celebration, the publication division, both quantitatively and qualitatively, they have brought out literally dozens of books, and many of them are quality books, including Christian W. Troll's monumental book and so many other publications, and the present book is part of that. So Professor Naqvi, Dr. Shahid, you deserve accolades for your dynamic leadership, and of course under the generous patronage of our Vice Chancellor. Without this, it could not be possible. But I'm really pleased because these books, these are not books, these are documents, living histories, and generations will benefit from it. And that was the right time. Centenary does not come every year once it is once a century thing. So from a variety of angles, whether Dr. Rahat Abrar's book, whether Professor Shafiq Advai's book, whether from so many other, and so good to see all the benefactors of the university, they have been commemorated, former vice chancellors, former chancellors, and these things. So it is one of the best things which I have seen in my career here at the Aligarh Muslim University. Now it's my pleasant duty to congratulate, felicitate, appreciate my young colleague, Dr. Sharik Aqil, for having produced such a wonderful book. Right, we all are teachers, we have been writing books. So writing descriptive book, analytical book, critical analysis is one thing. And of course, it is valuable thing. It is expertise is involved. But writing a documentary history is something difficult because you have to, like a bee, you have to this draw nectar from every flower. So that's what Dr. Sharik Aqil has so painstakingly, so diligently, so meticulously done. Amazing as you go through the pages. It looks like a history, but batch-wise, specialization-wise, year-wise, faculty-wise, department-wise, and that goes to the goodness of Dr. Sharik. That is a very generous, very kind-hearted person. So he has acknowledged the achievements of almost every faculty member, past and present. And that is so good to see that the benefactors of the Jain Medical College, they have been acknowledged and it has been documented. And for years and for decades, unless it is replaced by some other work, it will be used as a reference work. So, Dr. Sharik, many congratulations on having drawn so much relevant material. It is literally, it is a treasure house of, and the information is authentic. He has verified all the facts, all the data there. It is not just some general statement here and there. And I must congratulate Dr. Sharik Aqil also for having chosen a very suitable title, that is a dream come true. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you very briefly that this Jain Medical College is really a dream of the Muslim community. From 1940s, it was there on the minds of the well-wishers of the AMU, and Dr. Ziauddin, he played a pivotal role in that. And I cannot resist telling you one incident which was related to me by my very senior teacher, Professor Salamatullah Khan, in the Department of English, father of Professor Anwar Salamat Khan. तो आप लोगों के लिए भी वो वाकया जो है खासा इंस्ट्रक्टिव और इंस्पायरिंग होगा. तो वो बताते थे कि वो सलामतुल्लाह साहब 40s में स्टाफ में आ गए थे. तो बताते थे कि एक दिन वन फाइन मॉर्निंग वीसी ऑफिस का एक आदमी आया और ये उस यंग लेक्चरर थे. कहा वीसी साहब बुला रहे हैं. मुझे बड़ी हैरत की, वीसी साहब से मेरा क्या ताल्लुक. तो उन्होंने जितने भी लेक्चरर्स थे, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स थे, सबको अपने घर पे बुलाया. और डॉक्टर ज़ियाउद्दीन में खूबी थी कि ही वॉज वेरी वेल कनेक्टेड अप टू दी वायसरायज ऑफिस. उनको साहब कहीं से पता चल गया, ये 40 सी बात है, पता चल गया कि डिमोनेटाइजेशन होने वाला है और 1000 रुपए का नोट जो है वो विड्रॉ हो जाएगा मिडनाइट से. तो उन्होंने ये सारे फैकल्टी मेंबर्स को कहा बैठो, चंद फ़ोन थे उस वक्त, का फ़ोन के सामने बैठो और डायरेक्टरीज आगरा, सॉरी मद्रास, मुंबई, दिल्ली और कलकत्ता की उन्होंने डायरेक्टरीज दी. का इसमें जितने मुसलमान बिजनेसमैन के नाम हैं उनको फ़ोन करो, उनसे बताओ 12 बजे रात में ये 1000 रुपए का नोट इलीगल हो जाएगा. अच्छा, उस ज़माने का 1000 का नोट आज के 5 लाख 10 लाख के बराबर है. तो तुम जो हो आज ही शाम को ये डोनेट कर दो AMU को, और उन्होंने DM को लिख के दे दिया कि हमारे पास 1 करोड़ से ज़्यादा रुपया इसमें है मेडिकल कॉलेज फंड में, जो 1000 रुपए के डिनोमिनेशंस में है, और एडवांस में उन्होंने उनको इन्फॉर्म कर दिया। और फिर साहब वो वही हुआ, लेट नाइट में डिक्लेरेशन हुआ। अच्छा, वो ऐसे भी 1000 रुपए का नोट जो है आज बड़ी रकम है, उस वक्त उसको इन कैश कराना बड़ा मुश्किल काम था, वो तो ब्लैक मनी कंसीडर किया जाता। तो ये उनकी देखिए इमेजिनेटिवनेस या सेंस ऑफ प्लानिंग देखिए। फिर सलामत साहब बताते थे, जो सबसे दिलचस्प बात की साहब, हम तो टेम्प्रेरी लेक्चरर थे, 125 रुपये हमको सैलरी मिलती थी, लिफाफा खोल रहे हैं तो उसमें से हजार रुपए के नोट गिरते थे, तो बड़ा टेम्पटिंग होता था। लेकिन वो बेकार है, 1000 रुपए का नोट लेके बैंक जाएंगे तो जेल जाएंगे सीधे, वो कहेंगे आपके पास आया कहाँ से ये जी। अच्छा, उन तो मुझको जो किस्सा जो बताया था वो यही 1000 तो 500 का होगा या 1000 का। बहरहाल इट वाज अ बिग करेंसी नोट विच वाज withdrawn, and Dr. Zauddin had collected it as a reserve fund for the, and we know very well that he went to Calcutta also, and the American forces were there, and there even bandage के जो boxes थे वो भी उन्होंने वहाँ से कलेक्ट कर लिए कि कल ये मेडिकल कॉलेज हमारा बनेगा, उसमें काम आएंगे। And it is also on record, it is on that in public meetings addressed by Professor Hadi Hassan, he was such an eloquent speaker. Women उनके जो जेवर जो पहने होती थी वो उतार के मेडिकल कॉलेज के फंड्स के लिए देती थी। तो दिस मेडिकल कॉलेज हैज़ बीन established with a sense of mission, with a sense of aspiration. So we all owe this duty of keeping, and it is so good to see that this institution, which had been established with such sense of mission, with such sincerity of purpose, it has grown, and in recent times, under the leadership of Professor Tariq Mansoor Saab, by leaps and bounds, and in every respect, it has gone from heights to heights. So it is so good, and Dr. Shariq Aqil deserves credit for having put everything into record, and it will be used with benefit for long time to come. And we look forward to similar works from you, and we wish the best for the JNMC and of course for the university. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for this interesting story also and your views. And thank you for reminding us that in the making of this medical college, women donated their jewelry. And it is for everyone to see that even today, in the functioning of this medical college, women are contributing significantly. We have with us as our next speaker, Professor Zehra Mohsin from the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. May I request you to say a few words?
Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Dean Faculty of Medicine, Principal JN Medical College, all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, alumni and dear friends. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Dr. Shariq Aqil Sir. I am extremely honored to be giving this small review. I am very, very happy. For me, it was a trip down the memory lane. Education and health are key issues. No doubt, this institution was established for imparting education to the community, but service and compassion are equally important. And like Professor Qidwai just mentioned, this medical college was a dream of Sir Ziauddin Ahmed. Indeed, the journey began with this dream, and the book begins telling us about this journey and the contributions, sir, like you said, of Professor Hadi Hassan, who was instrumental in that time to collect about 50 lakhs with his eloquent words, Colonel B.H. Zaidi, the Vice Chancellor, during whose tenure the medical college was started. And it reminds us of our humble beginnings in the old physics department. So it reminds each one of us about the early clinical teachings. The vivid description of Professor Naseem Ansari, so immaculate in his suit and bow tie, going on a rickshaw with students, accompanying him on cycles to the district hospital for the early clinical training, was a very, very nice read. So our teachers have sacrificed opportunity, comfort, a lot of fame to make us what we are today. And so the mention of two very important people, Sister Sen and Sister Joseph. I have memories of Sister Joseph as a child. I remember she was not only a great nurse, but also a very good cook. And I remember going to her place on Christmas, and I can still relish the hunter beef she would make for Christmas. It was such an important relationship. We were taught to value the entire healthcare team, to give importance to each and every member of the staff. And sir, this thing about Sports Utsav brought back so many good memories. Apart from the sporting events, I think what we thoroughly enjoyed were the informal games. So there was something for everyone. I think 100% participation hota tha. Aap agree karenge, Dr. Fazal? I think each student participated in those festivities. And Dr. Sadiq, indeed, he was a strict disciplinarian. Everything about him was so meticulous, and we could not. हमारा तो शायद उन्होंने वाइवा भी 2 घंटे आगे नहीं बढ़ाया था. But कहते हैं, a good father is a little bit of a mother. I can never forget when we were residents, sir coming dot 7:45, and we would spring up from our beds just to ensure that we had clean sheets, comfortable blankets. Our duties were without any hitch. We've had all the comforts in life. I think this kind of care cannot be provided anywhere else but in JNMC A.M.U. Sir, you have very, very nicely described all the departments of this faculty, their histories, the outstanding teachers. I can begin with Professor Mehdi Hassan, such a remarkable personality. I remember meeting him the last time when I saw him. There were so many of us, students right from the early batches, and he recognized each one by name. That was so miraculous. अपने हर स्टूडेंट को नाम से याद रखना, उसके बारे में हर चीज उनको मालूम थी. SM Ashraf Saab, Professor Ashraf, I think, was the epitome of compassion and kindness. Hussain Ahmed, I mean, the list is endless. Our teachers not only taught us the art of medicine, observation, reason, human understanding, and courage. I am saying this, that I wear this, because of them, I wear this white coat today with dignity and pride. Sir, there was also mention about the distinguished alumni of all batches. Miss Audrey Joan Ahmed, I remember her being discussed as Mrs. Maqbool. The teachers were very, very, they found her asking too many questions, and she wanted in those days the answer to each question. Diba Appa, Dr. Diba Hussain, a figure we greatly admired. And sir, so much memories came flooding back, talking about Asif Uzzama Saab. singing his favorite parody, Lipoma is a benign tumor. It was so funny. And Dr. Abu Khamar Saab discussing such funny anecdotes and इतने सारे हम पुराने मजेदार किस्से उनसे हमने सुने. Sir, reading this book for me was like opening a chest, a lost treasure chest full of beautiful memories, cherished moments. It was indeed a very pleasurable read. Sir, I would like to end by saying it will be an asset to each and every alumnus. And I again congratulate you on this release. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Zehra, very much coming straight from your heart. We really enjoyed listening to you. One last comment upon the book by Professor Athar Ansari, very briefly. Professor Ansari, as we know, he is in the Department of Community Medicine here at the JNMC.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, dignitaries on the dais, and dear colleagues and students. And this is the idea of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor. And today we are having the release of this book, history of JN Medical College. And for this, he has applied the concept of ergonomics, right person, right work. So he has given this task to Dr. Shari Akil, who has visited many times, very frequently visiting departments, visiting the faculty member, even students, to get the information, to get the inputs. And with his efforts, today we are having this book published and going to be released soon. I congratulate for this. I congratulate Vice Chancellor Saab and Shari Akil Saab, who has done commendable work. And इसके लिए एक छोटा सा एक वाकया बता दूं, चूंकि हिस्ट्री है बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं, जस्ट ब्रीफ, कि नसीम अंसारी साहब और रहमान अली खां साहब ये मेडिकल कॉलेज का चंदा लेने के लिए पीलीभीत के जंगल में थे. बड़ा उन्होंने अफसानवी अंदाज में लिखा कि मैं दरिया का किनारा था, एक तरफ जंगल था और मैं वहाँ खेत में पहुंचा और खेत में एक किसान जिसने धान लगाया था उसको ₹1 मिला था पूरे दिन का उसकी मजदूरी. और जब हमने उनसे कहा कि हम लोग एक मेडिकल कॉलेज के चंदे के सिलसिले में आए हैं ताकि गरीबों का, आम लोगों का कुछ फ़ायदा हो, खासकर औरतों को जो बच्चे होते हैं उनमें बड़ी ख़राबी होती है, तो उनको कुछ सेहत के लिए हम तवज्जो कर रहे हैं. तो उस आदमी ने उस ₹1 में से 8 आने इस मेडिकल कॉलेज को दे दिए. तो वो लिखते हैं कि हम में से कोई ऐसा होगा जो अपनी 50% आमदनी कहीं डोनेट कर सके. तो देयर आर कंट्रीब्यूशंस मेड बाय मतलब सीनियर पर्सन्स, रिच पर्सन, बट द कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ पुअर्स कैन नॉट बी डिनाइड. उन्होंने कंट्रीब्यूट किया, सबने किया, जबकि उनके बच्चे शायद यहाँ तक आ भी ना पाए या शायद आ भी जाए. So with these words, I conclude with the saying of Winston Churchill: "The farther you can look, the farther forward you can see." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Athar Ansari. Very nice anecdote shared by you. Yes, indeed, that we need to look at how poor people donate, being so less provided for. इस किताब के 1978 बैच के जो पास आउट्स की लिस्ट देखेंगे तो उसमें एक नाम है हमीदा अब्बुर रहमान. This happens to be the Dr. Hamida Tariq of today, the renowned pediatrician, the social worker, and a wonderful personality who never fails to touch anyone's heart. I'm sorry she is not able to make it here. She was very much inclined to come, and do I need to explain this to a gathering of doctors कि कभी-कभी फर्ज शिनासी के आगे दोस्तों से और रिश्तेदारों से किए हुए वादों से आप लोगों को शर्मिंदा होना पड़ता है. So we will move forward. And Dr. Hamida certainly sends her best wishes for this book, and she felicitates the author and the gathering here on this release. I will now request Professor Rakesh Bhargava, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, AMU.
Thank you, Dr. Faiza. Good afternoon.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor, our Principal, Professor Shahid Siddiqui, and all the distinguished guests on the dais, as well as of the dais. Basically, the book on Jain Medical College itself shows that this medical college is definitely changing the scenario in this vicinity of old Aligarh, rather. And Dr. Shariq Akil has written a beautiful book, and I think this book is only needs further additions, because every year the medical college changes a lot. Every year there is a lot of new things which is coming in the medical college that has to be added. I think it's every 2 or 3 years it has to be added. And I think this was book to be released 1 year before, but because of pandemic of the COVID, this has been postponed to today. As today we feel very much safe because of the decline in the COVID. And you know how much participation of COVID in preventing the COVID, as well as treatment of COVID, as well as vaccination of COVID is done by the medical college. That's very, very creditable. I think that has to be included in next edition. Basically, I'm really very well overwhelmed that he has included every department, and he has visited every department and taken care of every minute details about the medical college. That's a very, very creditable thing for him. I again congratulate him for this, as well as the publication department who has come up with this book. And I hope in near future another book from the medical college should come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words and the hope that you have generated. Yes, there are a lot of people listening here today. The medical college certainly is in very good hands with Professor Rakesh Bhargava as the dean and as the principal and chief medical superintendent, Professor Shahid Ali Siddiqui. I will request Professor Shahid to say a few words.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Dean Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Rakesh Bhargava, other distinguished guests and dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, dear faculty members. We have gathered here on the release of a very important and relevant book for this medical college. We all know that institutions are not made overnight. It takes time and contribution from different people who are concerned or who are directly involved in serving the institution and keeping a record and compiling the record of an institution like JNMC is really a commendable job which has been done by Dr. Shahid Akil. I would like to congratulate him on his sincere and committed efforts for bringing out the first edition of the history of JN Medical College. Though I am not an alumnus of this institution, but I have been serving over here for last 34 years. So I also have the opportunity of working with various stalwarts of this medical college. And I know that many of students during our period are working in different parts of the world, and they are bringing different laurels to the institution. But especially the contribution the institution is making towards the health requirement of this geographical area, especially the Western UP, is really commendable, because all the services are made available at an affordable cost. And people are having a passion to work over here.
So, be it any caste or creed of the patient, these services are delivered to them with concern. I mean, one way of giving this health services is just providing the services, but providing services with concern and commitment is a different. So people working over here, they have a concern for their patients. And it appears that as if they are serving humanity. So I would once again congratulate Dr. Sharik Akil for making such an hard work for bringing out the history of JNMC, which would really be cherished by all the alumnus and the people concerning the JNMC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Shahid. Exactly. Salary. Again demonetized. Okay, that's
So gracious of you.
that's nice. Now, indeed, it's hard to believe. So, moving on ahead, it's now time for us to listen to Dr. Sharik Akil. मैं शारिक साहब को यहाँ बुलाऊं, इससे पहले मैं इनकी ताज़ीम में 2 लफ्ज़ कहूँगी. फ़ारसी का एक मक़ूला है, कलम गोयत कि मन शाह जहानम. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि लिखने वाला बादशाह होता है. It means that the one who writes has the king in the grip of his fingers. So by lifting the pen, and that too for such a noble cause, indeed, he has made us all indebted, especially the JNMC community, a community that is 60 years strong, and a community that is thousands and thousands of doctors strong, a community that happens to be the dream of every middle-class household, let's say. Dr. Sharik, of course, he wanted the release of this book last year. It was planned on 10th April. I still have the card, but somehow it could not take place. And it is certainly a tribute to the tenacity of not just Dr. Sharik, but also our Honorable Vice Chancellor, that he held on behind him, and the publication division, of course, that today this book is going to be released. If you read it, I'm sorry I have read it before it's released because I had to do this program. If you read it, you will have a feeling of listening to a Grayat. Grayat is somebody who's a village elder, a community elder, who is trained to learn the names, the contributions, the legacies of a particular community. I got to know of it from a very remarkable book I read by Alex Haley, novel called Roots. So this man, Kunta Kinte, when he's enslaved at the age of 17, back in the present-day United States from Gambia, he used to tell his daughter Kizzy about all the stories of his village. So anybody who wants to know the story of JNMC, which is today being termed as a mercy for the community and as a mercy for the region, is welcome to pick up this book by Dr. Sharik Akil. I request Dr. Akil, once again in his inimitable style, to say something about his achievement.
Thank you, Dr. Faiza. Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, my esteemed teachers and colleagues. At the very outset, I must express my deepest sense of gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor for his continued patronage, his guidance, and his supervision throughout this work. It could not have been possible without his regular, fatherly advice to me. I'm extremely indebted to Mirza Waqar Beg, who first asked me to write history ever since my article in Urdu about the medical college was published in the centenary issue of Tehzeebul Akhlaq in December 2020. Many friends within the country and outside started requesting me to write in English because for a wider reach, because majority of the pass out of medical college are not well versed in Urdu. So that was an impetus. So I'm extremely thankful to my seniors, Dr. Rajkumar Rawal, DPS Toor, Dr. Mohsin Raza, Saeedul Hassan Arif, Athar Ansari, my friend, who gave me many inputs, Dr. Abdi, Salman Shah, Dr. Salim Mohammad Khan, Department of SPM, who in fact computer typed my this work. Dr. Kashif Razi, Dr. Ziaur Rahman, Dr. Fakhrul Rida, my teachers Wajid Naqvi Sahab, Nafis Faruqi, Dr. Rahat Abrar, जिनको मैं रात भर कभी कभी रात के 12 बजे उनको फ़ोन करता था, मुझे ये बताइए, वो उस जवाब देते थे. द एंटायर PRO ऑफिस, द CEC, डॉक्टर शीरानी, इन सब लोगों ने जो मेरी मदद की. और देखिए, ये हमें याद रखना चाहिए कि जिंदा कौमें अपनी तारीख लिखती हैं. तो अपनी तारीख लिखने का जो रिवाज है वो तो आप अगर कुरान शरीफ पढ़ेंगे तो आपको वहीं से आपको पता चलेगा कि जिस तरह हदीस लिखी गई, ये जितने भी जिंदा कौमें हैं उनको ये काम करना चाहिए. इस किताब को लिखने में जो मुझे मेडिकल कॉलेज को, बावजूद इसके कि मैं 9 साल यहाँ स्टूडेंट रहा, लेकिन जितने करीब से जानने का और मौका मिला, अब यकीन जानिए कुछ डिपार्टमेंट्स के स्टोर हाउसेज में हमारे बहुत पुराने टीचर्स की तस्वीर थी. आप इसमें देखेंगे कि 80 तस्वीर अर्लीस्ट टीचर्स की हैं. उनको इकट्ठा करना एक बड़ा हरकुलियन टास्क था, लेकिन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमने किया. मेडिकल कॉलेज इंतज़ामिया ने, शाहिद सिद्दीकी साहब ने, ख़ासतौर से मेडिकल सुपरिटेंडेंट हारिस साहब को बहुत परेशान किया इस पूरे काम में. डीन साहब ने, इन सब ने मदद की. हर डिपार्टमेंट से मुझे मदद मिली और हमने इसमें 80 फोटोग्राफ्स अर्लीस्ट टीचर्स के शामिल किए. मेरी कोशिश थी कि इस हिस्ट्री को कम से कम पेजेस में किया जाए, तो हमने 100 का टारगेट रखा था. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह 98 पेजेस में हमने इस पूरी हिस्ट्री को कंपाइल किया. पूरे उसमें डिपार्टमेंट्स भी हैं और सबसे बड़ा चैप्टर इसमें डिस्टिंग्विश एलुमनाई का है. उसमें आप जानते हैं कि ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर स्टैंड्स आउट बिकॉज ही इज द फर्स्ट मेडिकल डॉक्टर to be the Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University, in the glorious history of more than 100 years of history of the university. तो मेडिकल कॉलेज को जहाँ अशोक सेठ और OP काल्ला और तारिक मंसूर साहब जैसे लोग मिले, किसी ने जिक्र किया ऑड्री जोन का. आप लोग को जान के हैरत होगी, ये खातून 63 बैच में आई. उससे पहले ये रीडर थी इंडियन दिल्ली में इंटरनेशनल स्टडीज़ में. शी वॉज रीडर. और जर्मन में और ब्रिटिश म्यूजियम में लंदन में हाई रैंकिंग ऑफिसर थी. और रशियन, स्पेनिश, फ्रेंच, कितनी ज़बानें जानती थी. रशियन सेक्शन की ये इंचार्ज थी. सडनली शी डेवलप पैशन फॉर मेडिसिन. शी केम हियर. शी वाज इन फैक्ट गिवन अपॉइंटमेंट हियर आल्सो एज रीडर इन जो जनरल एजुकेशन सेंटर होता था उस ज़माने में, उसमें रीडर रही और पैशन डेवलप किया कि मुझे मेडिसिन करनी है. 63 बैच में ये आ गई. व्हेन शी ज्वाइन मेडिकल कॉलेज शी हैड ऑलरेडी 3 डॉटर्स. और इनके मेडिकल कॉलेज JNMC ज्वाइन करने के 2 साल बाद इनकी बेटी जहरा मकबूल एम्स में MBBS में एडमिट हुई. एक अजीब इत्तेफाक है. ये लेडी गजब की लेडी थी और इस तरह के सैकड़ों लोग मुझे देखने को मिले यहाँ पर. उसके बाद आपने देखा कि ऑड्री जोन की ही तरह बहुत से लोग 64 बैच में एक PK अब्दुल्ला साहब केरला के डॉक्टर थे. 3 बार उन्हें साहित्य अकेडमी, केरला साहित्य अकेडमी अवार्ड मिला. एक बार मलयालम लैंग्वेज में उन्हें नेशनल साहित्य अकेडमी अवार्ड मिला. 45 बुक्स लिखी, 15 नॉवेल्स लिखे और ट्रेवलॉग्स लिखे. तो इस तरह की बहुत से लोग, जब हमने इसमें एक चैप्टर बनाया है आर्ट्स, कल्चर एंड आउटरीच एक्टिविटीज़ का, आप देखेंगे वो वक्त याद आता है. अबू कमर साहब, आसिफ उज़्ज़मा साहब, रियाज मेहदी, और जो एक तरह से पूरा यूनिवर्सिटी के ऊपर इस ड्रामे क्लब का, मेडिकल कॉलेज के ड्रामेटिक्स मशहूर थी. पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी में एक तरह अलीगढ़ की ज़बान में गदर मचाया हुआ था इन लोगों ने. और ये जो टैलेंट था मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स का, मुझे लगा कि ये सब खो जाएगा. नई जनरेशन को शायद कैसे पता चलेगा कि ऐसे ऐसे लोग रहे हैं जिन्होंने एक तरफ मेडिसिन किया है तो दूसरी तरफ उन्होंने नॉवेल्स लिखे हैं. उन्होंने शायरी में, आप देखें सलमान अख्तर को सब जानते हैं नोटेड साइकेट्रिस्ट के नाम से, लेकिन उन्होंने इंग्लिस्तान में, उन्होंने अमेरिका के अंदर गालिब की पोइट्री को जो रिलेवेंट थी साइंस और मेडिसिन से, उसको उर्दू में तर्जुमा कर, इंग्लिश में तर्जुमा करके पूरी उस दुनिया को गालिब से रोशनास करा. ही वॉज ए डॉक्टर. तो क्या नहीं कर सकते डॉक्टर्स, जिस बात की ठान लें वो कर सकते हैं. मुझे इस किताब को कंपाइल करने में आज वही लोग याद आते जिन्होंने खूने जिगर से मेडिकल कॉलेज को सींचा है. इंतज़ार हुसैन साहब, अम्मार हसन साहब, नसीम अंसारी साहब, जैन प्रसाद, मेहदी हसन साहब, प्रोफेसर शाइस्ता, मोहसिन, डॉक्टर सादिक जिनका जिक्र किया, जिनके साथ रह के हमने स्पोर्ट्स ऑफ के अंदर कितने टैलेंट्स मेडिकल कॉलेज से निकले थे उस ज़माने में. वो 3-4-5 दिन के इवेंट ने इस कदर टैलेंट्स पैदा किए कि आपको जान के हैरत होगी, एक डॉक्टर को बेस्ट हुटर का खिताब मिला था, अब्दुल मन्नान को. बेस्ट हुटर, हुटिंग के अंदर उन्होंने कमाल किया, कोई मौका नहीं छोड़ा उन्होंने हुट करने का, तो ही वाज गिवन ए बेस्ट हुटर अवार्ड। सादिक साहब की जो पर्सनालिटी थी, जो हिस्ट्री स्ट्रिक्ट डिसिप्लिनरी दैट ही वाज, तो उनके साथ रह के हम लोगों ने इतना सीखा। इसमें हमने एक दिलचस्प चैप्टर बनाया है, फैमिलीज, मेडिसिन रन्स इन फैमिलीज, तो वो भी इतना दिलचस्प है। इस किताब को इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए देखिए उन फैमिलीज को पिकअप करने की कोशिश की जहां से 3 या 4 बच्चे, एक ही फादर मदर के 3-4 बच्चों ने मेडिसिन किया। तो आप जानते हैं प्रोफेसर मुनीस रजा साहब दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के वाइस चांसलर, रोमाना गुल मुनीस और रबाब मुनीस, ये लोग। प्रोफेसर मकबूल साहब इंग्लिश के प्रोफेसर थे, अयाज महमूद, तमकीन, तजीन, तस्कीन, एक ही फैमिली से। इसका जिक्र आप जानते हैं अतिया ज़काउर रब, ज़ीबा और सीबा एक फैमिली से। जफर मुनाब जिलानी साहब, ये लतीफ़ बैठे, इनके फादर नदीम जफर जिलानी, लतीफ़ जफर जिलानी, अनवर जफर और इनकी बहन इरफाना जिलानी। इस तरह के बेशुमार वाक़यात थे। मैं तो 10, 11, 12 ही कर चुका। एक बात वाइस चांसलर तारिक मंसूर साहब के लिए खास दिलचस्पी की होगी, इनका वाइस चांसलर साहब का पहला MSc स्टूडेंट सुल्तान आलम जुबैरी, इस वक्त मुरादाबाद में एक नोटेड सर्जन है, फारसीय से। हैरत करेंगे आप, जब मैं ये किताब लिख रहा था मार्च 2020 में, उनका एक बेटा वासिफ, उनके 2 बेटे ट्विंस जो हैं, वासिफ और शारिफ 2020 बैच JNMC फर्स्ट ईयर, उनकी बेटी 2019 बैच फरहीन सेकेंड ईयर में थी, उनके बेटे अफीफ सुल्तान 2016 बैच फाइनल ईयर MBBS में, और उनके 2 एक बेटा और एक बेटी आफरीन और आतिफ थर्ड ईयर एंड फोर्थ ईयर रोहिलखंड मेडिकल कॉलेज बरेली में। एक घर के 6 बच्चे, इत्तेफाक से खुशकिस्मती उन्हें 2 बार ट्विंस हुए। तो ये मुझे लगा कि शायद ये मुमकिन ही नहीं है कि एक फैमिली से 5 ईयर में, फर्स्ट ईयर, सेकेंड ईयर, थर्ड ईयर, फोर्थ ईयर, फाइनल ईयर, और एक साल में तो 2 बच्चे। तो ये जो इस तरह के दिलचस्प वाक़यात को जोड़ के इस किताब को दिलचस्प बनाने की कोशिश की गई। इकबाल हसन साहब, ये आसिफ बैठे हैं, इकबाल हसन साहब इंग्लिश में प्रोफेसर थे, राना बेगम इनकी बहन फरहाना और आसिफ हसन, ये इस तरह की बेशुमार चीज़ों को दिलचस्प बनाने के लिए लिखा है। पूरी कोशिश की गई है कि इस किताब को पढ़ने में आपको पूरी एक तारीख अलीगढ़ की और यहाँ के लोगों की, इसलिए हमने इस किताब को 1962 से शुरू नहीं किया जब मेडिकल कॉलेज कायम किया, बल्कि 1942 से शुरू किया, जो एक दास्तान, जो जिसे आप कह लीजिए कुर्बानियों की, ईसार की, मेहनत, जफाकशी की जो दास्तान है, उसको वहाँ से उस किताब को शुरू किया है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि इस किताब को आप जब आप पढ़ेंगे तो आपको ज़रूर ये एहसास होगा कि आप कितने ऊंचे, कितने बुलंद मेडिकल कॉलेज से आपका ताल्लुक़ है। मैं एक बार फिर तमाम हजरात का, ख़ास तौर से मोहतरम वाइस चांसलर साहब का मैं इंतहा मशकूर हूँ, CEC की पूरी टीम, कंप्यूटर सेंटर के लोग और जितने लोगों ने, पब्लिकेशन डिवीज़न, ख़ास तौर से नकवी साहब की बराबर दुआएं और मोहब्बतें, और शाहिद भाई की शफ़क़तें, और शाहिद भाई के कदम कदम रहनुमाई और उनकी मदद के बगैर ये काम मुमकिन नहीं था। एंटायर पब्लिकेशन डिवीज़न डिज़र्व्स applause. And finally, once again, I must thank Honorable Vice Chancellor for giving me this task. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Sharik bhai. We must say we enjoyed listening to you just like we do every time. Certainly, this effort is very, very laudable. It has been praised, of course, by everyone. मैं इसकी तारीफ में एक जुमला और ये कहूँगी कि इसे वक्त से समेट पाना भी एक बहुत ही काबिल मुबारकबाद काम है। जब कोई इस तरह की इतनी हमारे दिल से करीब कोई मौजू होता है जिस पे हम लिखने बैठते हैं, बात से बात निकलती है, बयानिया बहुत बहक जाता है, लेकिन यकीनन ये शारिक भाई की कलम की चाबुक दस्ती थी कि 132-33 सफ़ों में इसको समेट दिया और मंजर आम पे ये आना ही चाहती है। मेरी दरख्वास्त है अब इस किताब के इजरा के लिए मोहतरम वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर तारिक मंसूर साहब और तमाम हाजरीन महफिल डाइस पे मौजूद। बेहद मुबारकबाद, बहुत दिली मुबारकबाद। Here's to many more editions. And once again, Dr. Sharik Aqil, Allah kare zore qalam aur zada. With this, we will now request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor, to deliver his presidential address. Certainly, it goes to his credit too that a book like this has been released here today. Nothing would have been possible without his kind and positive patronage, of course. I'm sure he must be having a soft spot for the JN Medical College as Vice Chancellor AMU because he happened to be a student here, a teacher here, a principal here. And of course, as Dr. Sharik mentioned, he happens to be the first medical college student who has become the Vice Chancellor of the Aligarh Muslim University. I will request you, sir, to kindly deliver your presidential address.
Director, Sir Syed Academy, Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi Sahab, Dean Faculty of Medicine, Professor Rakesh Bhargav, Principal and CMS, Professor Shahid Ali Siddiqui, Deputy Director, Sir Syed Academy, Dr. Muhammad Shahid, the author of this book, Dr. Shariq Aqil, Finance Officer, Chairpersons of departments, Directors, distinguished members of the faculty, dear students, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Shariq Aqil for this publication. And it was due to his hard and sincere work that this book has seen the light of the day. And it was supposed to be released, I think, 1 year back before the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, but because of obvious reasons, it was delayed. So my profuse congratulations again to Dr. Shariq Aqil for this work and for his dedication. You see, history is important. Without history, you are in a vacuum. So history will be of a country, or it will be of a state, it will be of a city, it will be of an organization, it will be of a department, college. Every organization is supposed to have history. And history is a very diverse subject. If you really look at history, because when we talk about history, we generally mean political history. It is not like that. There's economic history is also there. Social history is also there. Cultural history is also there, which is so important. For example, in our history department, they specialize in medieval history. The main focus is what was the relationship of that time during medieval period among the various communities. What was the background? So the social strata of that time, the focus is on that rather than on the battles and wars. Of course, that is part of the history, the political history. The wars and battles and other important events are there. But how people were living together, that is the focus. So similarly for JNMC, for any alumni of JNMC, it is very important how the college started, who were the founders, who was the first principal of the medical college. It is always important. So this has all been documented, because documentation is very important. Without documentation, a thing does not exist actually. So whether it is digitization, documentation by electronic means or by physical means, documentation is very essential. Because if you don't document, then you tend to forget things. And we published a book, History of AMU and Jahan-e-Sayyid, so we know that so many things were missing and we had to search for them. So once these books, they have been published, Jahan-e-Sayyid, which is, we have published on the bicentenary celebration of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and the History of AMU, which is a coffee table type of book. Everything has been documented. And we have also put this on the on Google also. And we have documented this in the time capsule also, all these things. So this book will definitely provide information regarding the different batches, the earliest facilities, and the various important events which occurred. For example, when was the postgraduate courses started? When was the first MCH course started? When did the other MD, MS courses started? And who were responsible for them? Definitely, as Professor Yar Khidwai and others have already pointed out, Sir Ziauddin Ahmad and Professor Hadi Hassan, they had played an important role in establishment and in the fund collection of the medical college. They made a lot of efforts, which started in the 1940s. And the first plaque of this medical college was put in near the fort, actually. It was not there. So there, I think in the 1940s it was put, the stone was put there. I don't know whether it is there or not, but it was put there near the Aligarh fort. But they planned to establish it there. You have mentioned this, I think? Yes, yes. So it is, this first stone is there. And then everything always has a humble beginning. So actually this is started in the guest house, number 2. Because when Naqvi Saab came here as the first principal, it is very famously said that he asked Colonel Bashir Hussain Zaidi, what I have to do? He said, this is your medical college. You will start from here. Because he was living in guest house too at that time. And later on it was shifted to the old building of the biochemistry department. And from there it shifted here later on to this new complex. The publication division of the Aligarh Muslim University is doing very good work along with the Sir Syed Academy. And Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi, the director, and Dr. Muhammad Shahid, they have revitalized the Sir Syed Academy. Of course, other people who had before them also, they have made a contribution. But they are working together and working together as a team also. It is very important that everything is done as a teamwork. So when you work as a team, you always enjoy your work. And the results, they are always better. So they are working hard and they are working in a team also, with a team spirit. So I congratulate them for the many publications they have brought out from this publication division and from the Sir Syed Academy. And as Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi has pointed out, now these will also be available, the books will also be available online through Amazon and other platforms. And I think that more people will get access to these books. Because it is very difficult for somebody living in the United States or United Kingdom or in Bombay or in Chennai to order the books. So either he has to come here and buy if he comes for some other work. Well, these days, most of the purchase of these books is being done online. Not only. So I'm sure that with this, our books which have already been published, including this book also, which has been authored by Dr. Shari Akhil, they'll be available to a wider network of the alumni all over the world. Similarly, I also want to inform you that we are also involved in the digitization of the records, whether they are in the Maulana Azad Library or in the Sir Syed Academy. So I have paid special attention to that. In Maulana Azad Library, we have already done 95% of the records, they have been digitized. So they are now preserved for posterity. And we are also trying, this I mentioned also earlier, a few days back, in the function in the Sir Syed Academy, in some book releases which we had organized last week only. we are also focusing on conservation of our records, because some of these manuscripts which are of the medieval period, physically they are not in very good condition. So we are trying to preserve them by special treatment. There is a special unit there in Maulana Azad Library, the conservation division. So we have provided all the facilities, and we have filled the posts also of that division. We are trying to conserve them also in physical form also, not just in digitized form. Similarly, in the Saseer Academy also, we have done the digitization of the records. Out of 1,25,000 pages in Saseer Academy, I think they have already done digitization of 60,000 pages. But the process is continuing, and I'm sure that very soon, within 1 or 2 years, in Saseer Academy also, the digitization of the record will be completed. So once again, my congratulations to Dr. Shari Aqeel and to the Publication Division of the Aligarh Muslim University for this work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it was an honor for this gathering to have you over here, and of course, for this book being released by your hands. We pray that a leader with such a vision who can maintain the excellent standards of a traditional organization in the university like the Publication Division. He continues to give a fillip to the modernization also of something like the Publication Division, which is happening, which is very welcome, which is very heartening. We are seeing the digitization of the records. We are seeing the accessibility of the volumes on Amazon, and we are seeing the conservation of the records while new and excellent books are being published. Rightly put by the Honorable Vice Chancellor, this division is being very well managed and taken forward by Professor Ali Muhammad Naqvi, the director, and by Dr. Muhammad Shahid, the deputy director. इस महफिल के मेज़बान पब्लिकेशन डिवीज़न थी, और इसलिए यहाँ पे जो तशक्कुराती कलिमात हैं उनके लिए भी हम पब्लिकेशन डिवीज़न के डेप्यूटी डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर मोहम्मद शाहिद से इस्तदा करते हैं.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Professor Tariq Mansoor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, all the dignitaries present on the dais and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, I feel honored and privileged to extend the vote of thanks to all the revered guests and dignitaries present here. First of all, I would like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, who not only spared some valuable time from his busy schedule, but also for his continued patronage and guidance in all our activities at Sir Syed Academy, as well as Publication Division. Without his keen interest and involvement and continued patronage, it would not have been possible for us to carry out the activities which we are doing in the Sir Syed Academy, as well as in the Publication Division. Not only this, he is providing an excellent stewardship to the university, and because Tariq Mansoor Sahab belongs to Medical College originally, he had done a lot for the development of the medical college. Now he's doing the work at a broader level, larger scale, and taking the university into the new heights of academic excellence. I welcome you here, sir, again, and thank you very much for giving this opportunity to have your views to all of us. I also am thankful to all the speakers which spoke on this prestigious book, Professor A.R. Qidwai, Professor Zehra Mohsin, Professor Hassan Ansari, and also the author, Dr. Sharik Aqil, for expressing their views in this short program. I am thankful and pay a debt to Faiza Abbasi, Dr. Faiza Abbasi, for piloting this program very effectively as usual. I also express my deep gratitude to the Medical College Administration, particularly the principal and the dean, for providing this theater to us for holding this program. I am also thankful to the employees of the publication division for their keen interest and involvement in all the activities of the publication division. Particularly, I would like to thank Fazlur Rahman Sahab, who is only part-time working in our publication division. He is in public relations office, basically, for putting these books on Amazon. It is due to his efforts that we are able to put these on the Amazon. Lastly, I would also like to thank the Land and Garden Department and other departments of the university who facilitated us in the organization of this program. Last but not the least, I would like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to all the audience here, all the dignitaries present here, very senior faculty members are present here. I should have thanked all of them personally, but due to the paucity of time, it is not possible to name all of them. So I personally extend my deep sense of gratitude to all of you for participating in this program. Thank you again. जी, पब्लिकेशन डिवीजन का एक काउंटर बाहर हमने लगाया है फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ ऑल दीज पीपल प्रेजेंट हियर, जिसमें ये किताब भी अवेलेबल है और दूसरी जो रिसेंट किताबें हमने पब्लिकेशन डिवीजन और एकेडमी से छापी है वो भी वहाँ पर दस्तयाब हैं. अगर कोई साहब उसमें इंटरेस्टेड हो तो वहाँ से उसको हासिल कर सकते हैं. शुक्रिया.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया डॉक्टर मोहम्मद शाहिद साहब. Very meticulously delivered vote of thanks, not forgetting even a single person's contribution. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the publication division, everyone present here is invited over a cup of tea. And one last time, thank you everyone for being here, and congratulations to the author.